I don't know why, but you are watching the Madness Comic Network. Are you mental?
Beyond the world we know is a place where reality bends and time stands still. A place where legends, fairy tales, and nightmares are real. A world where legends are born and destinies collide. Alice has spent her life lost in an interdimensional rift known as Wonderland, and it forged her into a deadly bounty hunter. With her ancient clockwork guardian Big Ten by her side, they hunt the things that stalk the shadows of Wonderland. Alice Lost in Wonderland, issues 1 and 2 launch May 6 on Kickstarter. Follow along at GoMrFish.com.
Cat and mouse vipers. Giant child-snatching vipers are terrorizing New Orleans, pulling children from their homes in the middle of the night in their eagerness to take on human trafficking in the city. Cat and mouse find themselves in the thick of it. Crime, action, drama with a smattering of superheroics. Now, like Roland Mann said, our head honcho here at Silverline, go do some backing, and we appreciate your support.
It's Flip City Magazine, The Parodies, Special Edition, with savage send-ups of The Walking Dead, Star Trek Picard, Stranger Things, The Mandalorian, Guardians of the Galaxy, and more from the first 4 years of Flip City. Get Flip City The Parodies free when you subscribe in print at flipcitymag.com. The world's best satire magazine, and never, ever woke.
I'm Man Ray from SpongeBob, and you're watching us on Madness Comic Network.
Yeah, even Man Ray knows this is the place.
All right. Hello. Welcome to another Monday Madness.
Go, hey, we out here. You guys know me. I don't have to introduce myself. My new co-host, Mr. Ghost Pepper, and our guest today wearing an Anaheim Angels hat.
Uh-oh.
I don't know, man. No, I'm kidding. I'm a Twins fan. See, so back in the day when I was a kid, you guys got our batting champion. You got Rod Carew from us somehow. And he was like one of the standout players on the Twins when I was a kid. And he went to the California Angels halfway through his career. And it's like, no.
Now, in actuality, I don't really even follow baseball much. And when I'm at the gym, people start talking baseball to me, and I tell them I'm team sneakers. Whatever's matching my sneakers is what hat I'm wearing. Actually, a New Yorker originally, so Yankees and Mets is what I grew up on. And, if I'm going to have a preference, I guess it's going to be there.
You don't wear that hat when you go home, do you?
I wear the hat, go to the gym. If it's matching the sneakers, I got the red sneakers on, boom, I'm going to chuck this hat on. And people are going to start talking baseball to me. Sometimes if I have like a Captain America hat or Shazam hat or something, that alleviates it. But
and they talk comments with you, right? And then you can be able to do your pitch, you see. Always be ready. Always be selling. Always be ready to sell. Always be ready to promote. Look, when I started doing this, Dan, it was because I had a whole bunch of friends that did indie comics, right? And they were really good going to the cons and selling books, and they were really happy with the way things were. And then this stupid COVID thing came around, and all of a sudden, all my friends didn't have nowhere to sell their books all summer long, right? And I recognized then that they were crappy self-promoters. They were not good at coming out on the internet and telling people to buy their stuff, right? I mean, they had great stuff, and they were great live in front of a walking audience, so to speak, like at a con, right? The people walking by your table. They were great live. But they weren't real good at coming out on social media, dropping links to their stuff, telling people this is where you can get my stuff. And you know what I mean? And I started this whole network to try and help them out with that very problem because they weren't promoters. They're comic book creators. And it's a completely different animal once COVID wiped out all the cons. That one summer, all it took, right, was just to wipe it out for one summer. Everybody had to pivot. They had to adjust to a new form of, getting seen and selling books. I'm assuming you went through this same period, right?
Yeah, no, that's I was doing the cons for quite a while, and I was, again in New York. So I had a table at New York Comic Con for a number of years, but COVID did kind of wipe that out. Then a move to sunny Florida, and haven't really broke back into the con scene, contemplating that. But as you were saying, indie creators have to be promoters, and that business and art side doesn't always line up in the same person. And even your collaborators, and I saw like a pro artist say this after he started self-publishing. He's like, I always thought it was just the publisher's responsibility to promote, but in actuality, it takes the whole team. There's a lot of comics out there. It takes the whole team promoting to get the book in front of enough eyes.
I mean, I try to explain it like this. It's like, okay, you're on my show. My show has this much reach, as far as I can reach, right? Okay. Then somebody shares my show. And now my show has an extended reach as far as their audience goes. And if a couple of their people share the show out, eventually you hope that it gets to the point where as soon as somebody sees that you're live, they're sharing it out. Because that's how you really get seen out here in the social media sphere, is on the shares. And if nobody's hitting that button, it's not going to go any farther than my reach. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I always encourage people, man, hit the share button and ask somebody in your crew to hit the share button and somebody in their crew to hit the share button and increase the reach on these things so more people see them.
They tell two friends, and they tell two friends, and so on and so on.
And like we started on Facebook with just a little Facebook group, 400 people, and I didn't know nothing about YouTube or Twitch or X or any of the other stuff, but now we're on all those platforms too, because I practice what I preach. I'm not just telling you guys share this out. I'm trying to go to different platforms and get these things seen in as many places as I possibly can. So it doesn't matter where you're watching, share it out. You know, it doesn't matter. Extend our reach. Extend the reach for him, right? Oh, look at that. Look at that. Dude, I told you, this so rarely happens. Okay. I want to thank you, Jerry. Appreciate that, man, because that's really not something I don't come out here like. I don't like, hey, super chats. Blah, blah, blah. It's never been part of what we do. So it's doubly appreciated.
Much appreciated, Jerry. Much appreciated.
Jerry actually has a book in our current Kickstarter.
Oh, well, let's get on with that then.
He's in Singapore right now. So
if he
Jerry is a stand-up comedian,
really,
president of the Singapore Comics Association.
Oh no!
So he's like the lead guy for comics in Singapore, and we're fortunate enough to have Supercross. That's his character on the far right of that picture right there, from his comic Supercross, which we have number 4 in this campaign. So Jerry,
if you'd like the link, I can send you the link. You can come out here and join us. You are more than welcome. This is a very wide open platform that we have here. So
well, there's the invitation, Jerry, if you're up for it. I've seen him on a couple of shows. He except at 5 a.m., so I don't know if he had his coffee yet.
Yeah, after you have your coffee, pop in. I'll make sure Dan sends you the link. If you want to join us, you can. Can you do that for me, Dan? Send him the link?
Send him the link? Sure.
That way, if he wants to, he can. There's no pressure, bro. You don't have to, but you know.
Jerry is our senior editor over at Thunderzone. So
cool, man.
He has a wealth of comic experience. And I think... well, no, he's not the only one, but in this campaign, he's the only one who actually drew his comic. So he's a very, very talented artist as well.
So you mean everybody else hired an artist? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. We all hired artists for our books. Just getting to my messenger here.
Yeah, he said he will join us. Most excellent.
That's cool.
Cut and paste that link here. Okay, here it is. Here's the link, and then just pull up his messages. Yeah, Jerry also had a successful Indiegogo campaign recently for MAGA Man.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I did see that.
So that was a side project, but he's at Supercross with Thunderzone. I guess since we started Thunderzone. So we're up to issue 4 of Nature Man and issue 4 of that's Nature Man and
Supercross, Big House Blues issue 3, Marshall Strong issue 2, and Weirdo. Is that his Weirdo?
Weirdo is mine.
Weirdo's yours? Okay, which one is Weirdo? The guy on the left?
Weirdo is on the left. Then we have Officer Alloy from Big House Blues. Then we have Nature Man, Marshall Strong, and then Clandestine from Jerry's Supercross comic.
Okay, cool.
Cool, man.
You guys, okay, next time, not this time, it's kind of late. Next time, put together a trailer. Put together something that I can play for like
video?
For like a month before you launch, so that people are seeing these images ahead of time, so they know what's coming. You know what I mean? We're serious about promoting. We want people to know it's coming a month before it gets here. We want to launch it for you. We want to be here all month long promoting it. And even like I've even done fulfillment shows with people where we've come out after the campaign and hung out with them while they put books in Geminis. And we shipped them out just so people knew their product was on the way, the one that we've been covering all this time. We love to cover them beginning to end. So, definitely get with me early next time so we can put together some kind of a promotional package.
Okay, yeah, pre-launch. I'll the next time I put up the pre-launch page for the next one.
I mean, he just paid for more than it takes, more than a month worth of us showing off your video. we only charge like $25 a month to play your video, like we were doing at the beginning of the show. With Mr. Fish and all that, we put your video in that lineup at the beginning of the show.
Like Silverline and
I mean, we promote our people.
Be sure to get you some meat mayonnaise.
we definitely try to help you out. So I got to check in with people. I got to check in around the board, see if we're missing out on anybody on the other channels. Okay, I see Genuine Comics. Dave, what's up? Josh, what's up? Good to see you guys, man. The people on Rumble never tell us who they are. Have you ever noticed that? People on Rumble, we have a bunch of people watching, but they never talk. They never say anything in the chat. They're just there. They're just there. We love them, but we wish we knew who they were so we could say hi to them.
Correct.
Jerry's asking for the link. I sent it in Facebook Messenger, Jerry.
There you go. So so you say yours is Weirdo.
Well,
right?
In this campaign, I actually have 3.
Oh,
so I have Weirdo. Well, here's Nature Man.
Okay.
This cover is by the current X-Men artist, which we were talking pre-show about, getting some famous artists to your covers. So I did go ahead with this one. And Nitho Diaz, who's joining the X-Men right now, did that cover. And those are public domain characters where we have Nature Man, who's a riff on the public domain Nature Boy. Right. We have the Dart in the background, Kismet Man of Fate on the right, and that is Stardust attacking them. Stardust, the super wizard, who was a really wacky public domain superhero from back in the day.
Good stuff. Nature Man. All right. So, which costume is the money rolls with in the book?
Well, no, you see, he's on the bottom there. I'm pointing on the screen here. He's on the bottom, so he's in the same costume.
Oh, okay. He's not
getting
attacked. Yeah.
Okay. The guy in blue is Stardust.
All right.
He's the one getting attacked there, getting pounded into the ground there. So Nature Man, who again is a revamp of Nature Boy, which was created by Jerry Siegel, John Buscema, had about 5 adventures. I heavily researched any public domain character I used and treat it as if those stories occurred and are in continuity and make some references and really did my homework to make this book. And very proud of how Nature Man. This is the 4th issue that wraps up the story, and very happy with how it came out.
So there is a tier down here somewhere where somebody can get all 4, right?
You can get all 5 new comics, or you can just pick them a la carte and get any of them singly digitally.
I'm talking about the back issues, like
the back issues are all in the add-ons.
Okay,
but I do have one tier towards the end that you can get everything we put out so far.
Cool. There you go. That's the tier everybody should be looking at right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so this cover is Zilson. Oh,
Zilson Costa, who did the interior story.
That's a hard
peek on the colors
with no teeth. Okay,
the colors of the story.
And this one is
A.W. Irwin did that cover. Fantastic artist.
That has a serious New Mutants feel to it right there.
I kind of think it looks a bit like Tony Harris, who did Starman, or Adam Hughes, like a combo of those two guys. But I love that cover. I had a cover recently for Argo from him. We have another cover on this campaign from him. So just very happy with his work. And that's some interior preview pages of Nature Man #4. I left the dialogue off this one because it was too spoilery.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, man.
I'm all for showing off bits of art. I don't like people to give away story because, look, I don't care how good the art is on a book. The story is what bringing me back to the next one. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of a story, We have been joined by Jerry Hines. How you doing, Jerry? What's up?
Nice to meet you, Mr. Jerry.
Yeah.
Hi. Can you hear me?
We can.
Yes, we can hear you.
Good. Thanks for the invite.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. Welcome to the Monday Madness, the Madness Comic Network, where we do all things independent. We cover all things independent. We love what you guys do. And if you don't have that corporate conglomerate marketing department behind you, we got you.
Nice.
We'll do our best to get you seen, man. You know what I mean? That's what we do. So, okay, second book here is Marshall Strong #2.
Yes, that's by Mike Descharnes, with Elton Tomasi doing the art and Alan Farrier doing the colors. And Mike used to actually work at the comic shop that I frequented in the 80s. So he's a longtime comics aficionado. Marshall Strong has origins in his Villains and Vigilantes campaign that he was in, with some of those other heroes being part of that. And kind of like the superpowers in this Earth are made from like alien interaction, but kind of like those alien interactions that give you powers also drive you mad. So, and I shouldn't say this Earth because that's part of Thunderzone. Thunderzone, they're all on the same Earth. So, my character, Nature Man, can run into Jerry's characters in Supercross or Mike's characters in Marshall Strong. It's kind of like that early Image universe where they had different studios, but they were all on the same Earth. So that's a second cover for Marshall Strong. Again, Elton Tomasi doing the art, Alan Farrier doing the colors.
I like this right here.
Yeah, he's looks like he's snipering a villain who has a kid hostage over at the later at the.
I'm talking about the McDonald's.
McDowell's. I think that's the McDowell's.
McDowell's.
Coming to America.
Yeah.
So if they can't get in trouble, we can't.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, this is fun. This looks fun.
And that's J.W. Irwin again, who did that other Nature Man cover. And he has a cover here for Marshall Strong.
Very nice.
That's looking great, man.
We got some preview pages.
The Apex military base. We have Apex Comics.
Welcome to Argo City.
Oh, look, that looks good. Chinook, Chinook, Chinook. Marshall Strong, product of the military, secret experiments with alien technology.
Yeah, it's a great series. We have a number of issues to get out with that, just like with my comics and Jerry's. So he's doing a great job. That's Big House Blues. Originally, Nature Man, Big House Blues, and Weirdo were all serialized in Antarctic Press's Exciting Comics. Some of the later chapters they didn't get to, so it's new material in the Kickstarter. And Big House Blues is basically a supervillain prison.
Yes.
Superheroes as corrections officers.
I kind of picked up on that right away. Big House Blues, big house where all the bad guys with powers are at, and you got to have some super powered guards to keep those guys in line.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like it.
I think it'd make a great movie.
No, I do too. I'm already
or
envisioning
Netflix
it.
series.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ron Williams cover right there.
Yeah, Ron Williams did the interiors as well. So that, and Giuseppe Pica on color. So that's
Vince.
Vince.
Yeah, boy, Vince. See, now we know Vince White. He's okay.
Well, way back, I was developing this for Powerverse before it kind of fizzled out. So, yeah, Vince had done this work, and it's really great. Bruna Costa on colors. So I was very happy to at least bring
Dan,
it to light.
Dan, do you remember the classic typo for Big House Blues back in the Powerverse days?
The what?
The classic typo.
The typo?
Yeah, do you remember?
No, I'm not sure.
Oh, Vince called it Bug House Blues.
Oh, there you go. New storyline.
Now, see, had I known he had done this, I'd have shot him a link too. This looks wonderful. Look, you can be a con in the big house.
Yeah, you or your character, either way.
Well, my character would just walk out.
Yeah, well, they're special bars. It's not like a regular bars, and they have a power dampening collars on. So, you know, there's a little tech to hold the supervillains in place.
But see, he was born in the internet, and his natural habitat is in the internet. They wouldn't be able to walk. They wouldn't be able to have cameras. They wouldn't be able to have. The guards wouldn't be able to have radios or cell phones or anything. Anything he could get into the internet, he's out. Gone.
Just back it already.
Yeah.
That's our boy. That's Carl. And he also is invested in making sure you guys sell books, as you can tell.
I hear
you.
Oh yeah, Ron Ferrer during that one. We'll have it colored by Giuseppe Pica, who colored the comic when it is done. But obviously that one we have to finish up after the campaign.
So what kind of a D-level hero do you got to be to serve food to the prisoners?
You know, that's how it is. You know, one of the guards has to do that meal duty and get the food out to people.
That is great. I love the concept. I
had a lot of interactions with corrections officers. I had a career in law enforcement prior. So, you know, it's well researched, I'll say.
I can honestly say I have a experience on the other side of the bars.
Okay, I could have added you as a consulting story.
Yeah, if you ever want to get the convict's point of view, let me know. I can give you. I
can help on that aspect also. Yeah.
I can definitely consult on that. Oh, I like
my interior previews.
I like dude's forehead. That's beautiful. But I don't want people reading that, so I'm gonna scroll by that real quick. No, you don't get no clues. You have to go look at the campaign if you want to read the words. Go look at the campaign if you want to read the words.
And now, very fortuitous that we have Jerry here because we're up to his book.
Look at this. Now, see, yeah,
Jerry drew that. That's not.
I like it. I like it. Okay, Jerry, you're up, bud. What do we got here?
Okay, I think the major difference between myself and a lot of the other indie creators, right across the board, is my characters are quite young. I'm very old school Stanley, teenagers, secret identities, affairs of the heart, that kind of. I'm very much an all ages creator, and sometimes it can be quite lonely out here. Most of the stuff that you come across right across the board, or even with the big two, stories tend to be a bit more mature. But I find it very challenging to try to write something or create something that is very all ages friendly. So I try to keep that in mind. And you'll notice as well that something funny that I didn't realize was that I have a lot more females than a lot of indie creators, generally speaking. There's 5 main superhero characters in this, and 3 of them are actually female. But that wasn't a conscious decision. That wasn't part of the MCU attitude, so to speak. I think it's because I really like Spider Girl. Yeah, I don't know if you guys familiar with Tom DeFalco.
Yes.
Yeah. He had something called the MC2 some years ago, and I was a big fan of that.
Right.
So Supercross kind of has that kind of vibe.
Cool. All right. So I see at least 5 distinctive characters here, right? 5 different people.
Yeah.
Okay, give us names. Come on. Start with the girl at the top.
Okay, the girl at the center at the top, that's Singapore Sling.
Okay.
All right. The girl to her right, that is Mist. Now, she's the main protagonist. She's a street magician, but she actually has the powers. So where she's selling it as illusion, it's not really an illusion, it's real, but nobody knows it. I was thinking, right, if someone actually flew past you, flying, we would just think it's some sort of YouTuber. We would think it's some sort of illusion. I think you could actually be a superhero today, and people would just accept that you're creating an illusion.
See, I look at it like, okay, there's got to be a jetpack. There's got to be something, some
where's the wire or something? Yeah.
A wire technology that's causing dude to fly, right?
Yes.
It just be like they got the power to fly. That wouldn't come into my mind.
No.
Right.
So you could say she's hiding in plain sight, you could say. So the whole story happens because she's a superstar street magician, and she's come to Asia, to the ASEAN region on tour. And that's the reason why all these superheroes super crossover.
Okay.
So that lady top right, or girl, she's 17 years old, yeah? Then top left, that's Sweet Tooth Tiberius. He is my Kingpin. Okay, he's a cross between Kingpin and Tombstone.
All right.
Okay. Then just below them, the guy kicking, I get a lot of flack for this guy. His name is Wang Wang. It comes from a Chinese nursery rhyme, it goes Wang 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 Wang. It's the sound of bees and wasps.
Okay,
that's very popular out here in Singapore, but of course in the West it means nothing.
Right.
So he's got like bee-related powers. Bit of a rip-off of Yellow Jacket. I thought that Yellow Jacket costume back in the old Avengers was an absolute classic. Right, I really did like Yellow Jacket. Then below him, the guy on the right, that's D. Tomasic. Tomasic is the original name of Singapore. Okay, that's the indigenous name of Singapore is Temasek. Okay. So if you go into the stock exchange, you'll see something called Temasek Holdings. That's like the finance wing of a lot of Singapore. So he's got his powers. Now, I actually created that character back in about 1998. And this was before cable TV was really big out here, or even YouTube, yeah? And I created something which I thought was original, Ancient Aliens. He has the spirit of an ancient Temangong warrior and an ancient alien. But I didn't know it was a phenomenon. I didn't know ancient aliens was a thing. I thought I was being original. But as time went by, my concept isn't as great as I thought it was.
Because the Ancient Alien show came.
Okay, that second cover there is by David Ross. You know, I love the way how he drew the bad guy, the expatriate, who's the main bad guy. You remember when Jim Steranko drew the Incredible Hulk? Way bigger than he really was.
Oh, yeah.
Right? When I was a kid, I stared at that cover for hours. And I didn't tell David Ross that, but when he drew Expatriate, he drew him way bigger than he's meant to be. But there's no way I was going to tell him to change that. I really like the way how that guy is really, really big there. It reminds me of the Jim Steranko. I think it's Incredible Hulk 112. No, Captain America 112. The cover.
Right.
No, 100. Yeah, 112, I think it is. Yeah, 112.
Yeah, and David Ross did Marvel and DC work as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Interior looks.
Right. That's one of the most famous hotels here.
Not going to let you read the words. Look at the other. Look at the other. Yeah, there you go. Is Singapore really sunny?
Yes, but during the rainy season, it's also very rainy. But it's certainly very humid. It's always very hot.
So I'm reading this, and it says set in sunny Singapore. It could also say set in rainy Singapore.
It could, but it's more known for its sunshine.
We gotta have fun. Look, the devious taskmasters. Now, I'm assuming that's all these guys getting beat up on the cover.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's right. And again, I didn't know about the Taskmaster. Is it Marvel or DC Taskmaster?
It's Marvel. Yeah.
It's Marvel, right? Yeah. See, I don't know if it's subconscious or what, but because the costumes look a bit similar as well, it must have been, sometimes you can copy something and you don't realize you're copying it.
Yeah, because there's so much that's already been done. There's no way to know everything that's been done.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And especially look, that's old school Western comics, right? If you haven't paid attention to all that and you come in the 90s, you might miss out on half the people they already killed off.
Yeah, that's true.
And although they bring a lot of them back nowadays, they used to kill them off.
Yeah. I had a break from collecting during the 80s. And when I came back, my beloved Captain Marvel was dead. I was totally heartbroken. That was my favorite character back in the 70s when I used to collect. But Jim Starlin killed him off.
Yeah, and they do it. And look, I mean, nobody's supposed to live forever. Okay, hold up. Some heroes are immortal. We get it. Okay. But they're not all supposed to be immortal. Come on.
Yeah.
Captain Marvel's son, Genis Val, came around, and that was a pretty good Peter David crisscross series. Really enjoyed that.
Yes. What happened to Genis? Is he still around?
I'm not sure about that. I know he was in Avengers Forever. And then, things got a little complicated with Marvel, a lot of revamps and everything. So I lost track.
Yeah, same here.
See, it's like everybody got to that point where they were like, okay, I'm done. And they quit paying attention. All right. I got there about 7 years ago where I was just like, all right, look, when they started doing those multiple crossover things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look, I liked a few DC books. I liked a few Marvel books. We kept up on them. When they told us we had to buy 80 other books to know what was going to get the whole story in this book.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I don't need the Red Flash book that don't have nothing to do with Batman who laughs, right? Or what? You see what I'm saying? They mixed so much of it together and tried to force you to buy titles you didn't care about. And Marvel did the same thing. They were doing the same thing, and it was like, all right.
Yeah. Personally speaking as well, I'm not such a big fan of multiverses. I like Crisis on Infinite Earths, but not too much of it. I can accept it, but when it's too much,
yeah,
that's when it gets a bit overbearing sometimes.
And that's kind of what I mean. It's like everything just, it's either the same, they're both doing the same thing, or one of them does something and the other one goes, oh, that looks like it might work. And they jump in and do it too before they find out if it's going to work or not. Right. And I mean, I think both companies took a really hard hit by just not doing the right thing a lot in the last 10 years. You know, like just choosing the wrong path left and right. That is like everything they do is like, why'd you do that? And it's both companies, just one thing after another, you know. Why'd they name Daredevil's TV show? Why'd they call it Born Again? Have you read the comics? Because that ain't the comics, Born Again.
Yeah.
I mean, it might get there at some point. They might be getting, but that's not that's not the storyline. Born Again.
Well, catchy title.
Yeah. Let's use something else. They do it too much, you know. I'm getting a lot of children background noise. Ghost Pepper, take over.
All right. So keep going, guys.
I think I heard a dog.
Yeah, at least one.
So this is your character, Jerry, correct? Or
no,
this is Dan.
This is
Dan's character. That's correct.
Yeah.
Tell us
about Weirdo, Dan.
Yeah, Weirdo. Well, he's a teenager who's going through a rough time, trying to figure out what to do. You know, graduation was coming, and he hadn't really settled in on, you know, college or a career or whatever. And then a series of unfortunate occurrences leads him down to the path of becoming the weirdo. So there's a framing story with him in present day fighting some zombies, but then in between that framing sequence, you do get the origin of Weirdo, and he's more of a zany, madcap type of character that, you know, I mean, a lot of people have the cool, stoic, ass-kicking heroes, and, you know, as Jerry said, some of his are younger. You need a variety in your superhero universe, and Weirdo does offer that. So, Pops is the one who's scrolling, or?
I think so.
You can scroll, okay.
You can share your screen. Are you scrolling, or is that Pops?
That must be Pops. That's
okay.
Got a homage cover there by Jardel Cruz. Actually, the first cover was by Eduardo Viena, who does the interior story. This is Jardel Cruz, who has done some other work for us. But yeah, we have a homage cover on Weirdo for him.
That's very cool. I love it.
Dan, in issue number 1, do we find out why his skin is purple?
Yes.
We do. Okay. All right. I look forward to that.
Part of the origin, you'll see how he became as he is.
I just thought he was a Vikings fan.
It all goes back to the sports. No, he has a unique color combination. There's a cover we have where you can have a hero hanging out with Weirdo, and we'll, you know, come up with that when we see what the heroes are involved, kind of play off, you know, those characters. So that's not the actual layout.
See, that's someplace where Crom would fit in. See, fellow weird heroes, welcome.
Yeah, I could see a Ghost Pepper in there.
That's a place where Crom would fit in, right there.
And that's an interior page where he's fighting the zombies, and that's Eduardo Viena, who drew that first cover. And
now, this is also an homage. There is a what is it? It's the Wolverine. It's the quasi first appearance of Weapon X, I think.
Yeah.
And he's surrounded by Wolverines. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't recall that. And
it's I want to say Eternal or something. Eternals.
I don't know. Eduardo didn't make
it. I have it. I might just have to look for it. Ghost Pepper, take over.
Got it. All right.
But yeah, that looks very familiar.
Yeah, I mean, I guess certain things like a character surrounded by villains, or a character. One time, I had an editor said, "Oh, you know, your page here where your character is standing there and gets hit by a car is kind of like something else from another comic." And I'm like, you probably have to go back to like the 30s in Superman to start off with characters getting hit by cars and not being affected, because you know, it's been done. I'm not. I don't think you can really, you know, worry too much about overlapping in something like that. But well, yeah, there's Weirdo levitating, which is one of his powers.
And these zombies, right?
Yeah, zombies are
yeah
attacking him.
Got to kill those zombies.
Yeah, well, but Eduardo drew Thunder Guard #1, which was a crossover comic we had with a number of our characters, and he's in the process of drawing Thunder Guard #2. So Eduardo is really turning in some phenomenal work for us. Okay, yeah, you see, there you go. That's gonna be. And you remember the Wolverine that was like that also. So
yeah,
I guess
those are all Wolverines.
Oh, those are all Wolverines around them.
Yeah, that's the cover I was thinking of. It's the first appearance. You know, like, you know how sometimes they have first appearances that they argue about. No, that one is. No, that one is. This is one of those books where they argue about whether or not it's the actual first appearance. But I think Weapon X is around here somewhere, and it's supposedly the first appearance of Weapon X.
Well, you mentioned them going too far with the multiverse, and Exiles was pretty much just an entire series about multiverse.
Exactly.
You know, I enjoyed it, but if you're gonna be one that doesn't like multiverse, then Exiles is probably not for you. But
I can promise you, this is the only Exiles issue I have. And it's only because it might be the first appearance of somebody.
Yeah, with the way they have multiverses in that book, I would kind of doubt it, being that you know, they just have a number of versions of Wolverine. So
well, it's like anybody could have looked at that and said, "Well, that's not a real Wolverine. I'm going to write a story based on that look," and then everybody went, "Oh, well, he was already on this cover." No, it was somebody based it on that look. You know what I mean? So, not every Wolverine there is obviously a real Wolverine that has, you know, that's published. Some of them are just drawings of quasi-wolvies, you know.
Well, beyond that, people are still arguing over Wolverine's first appearance being Hulk 180 or 181.
But see, that one they have a good argument, because they showed his costume and named him in 180.
Yeah.
He said his name and they saw his costume.
Seems like
he said something. So it's like he was actually there. So he didn't punch anybody yet.
Yeah, well, 180 still isn't reaching the 181 numbers. So what are you going to do?
It'd be nice, because I got that one. I don't have 81. I got 80.
I know I have 181, but I'm not sure about 180. And that's all the books that we put out so far as a tier that you can get digitally. So all the books so far, including all Jerry Supercross issues, all my Nature Man Big Ass Blues issues, both Marshall Strong's and a number of other books that we have, all available. And then if you scroll down a little more, we have them available in print also.
Hey, who are these guys?
Yeah. Little
I actually think I've talked to a couple of these people before. Yes, I have.
You might even be talking to a couple of them right now.
Yeah.
More, yes. Yes. This is awesome. This is a solid team, man. It really is.
There's Jerry and his collaborators.
And talk about a team. There you go.
I thought 12th campaign, I believe. So we fulfilled every one of them in the past, in a timely manner. So we intend to do the same.
Get to back in, people. You know what I'm saying.
Back in.
There's got to be one of these titles that makes you go, And down there in the add-ons, like you said, you can get print copies of the back issues. If you want to start at number 1, that's me. I'd be looking, I'd be going, I need number 1 in Nature Man. Let's check out Nature Man, and see if I like it, and then I'd go from there. Actually, I'm really liking the team up. The team up book that Jerry puts out there is the one that gets my attention because I got 4 grandkids entering the teenage years, and I can't buy boob books and stuff.
Well, an interesting story, something like that I had back in the early 2000s. My son was about 8 or 9 at the time, and the first Iron Man movie came out, and he really liked it. So he says to me, Daddy, I want a comic book of Iron Man. So I said to him, I can't get you one. You won't like it. But he insisted on going to the comic shop. So when I took him to one of our local comic shops here in Singapore, all of the Iron Man comics, he wasn't red and yellow or red and gold. He was like burgundy and gold. It was very dark. And you can, from one look at the cover, he can tell that it wasn't written for him.
See, the only way I could do that with my grandkids was the Superhero Squad, the little chibi marble cartoon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I could. Yeah. The kids loved it, right? And that's how I introduced them to Marvel, because, like you said, there wasn't no Marvel comics they were going to be reading. Now they have done a few. They did a younger kids version of Venom and Iron Man, or Venom and Spider-Man book, and, which isn't near as violent as Venom would be, right? You know what I mean? They try, but face it, man, Marvel is for adults now. DC is for adults now. It's dark humor when there is humor.
Yep.
Yeah. It's not. Yeah.
They had a Marvel Superheroes magazine in Walmarts and everything that was aimed at younger readers, right. And tied in a little more with what was happening in the movies as far as character selection was concerned. But I don't see that out there anymore. And then prior to that, I'd have to go back to Spidey Super Stories or something.
Yeah,
or city-based take on the Marvel characters.
That's why I was really happy with Superhero Squad. It was all of them like they were little kids, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
sure.
and the voices were, I mean, it was aimed at kids, and it worked, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. There was little video game of it and everything, right? And it was really easy to get my grandkids excited about Marvel, and as they get older, of course, now they got their favorite heroes and whatnot. But that was how I introduced them, because, like you said, there just wasn't anything really age appropriate anymore. to bring kids into comics, except for the cartoony stuff. You know,
yeah, real cartoony, like Teen Titans or some of that mess that really isn't. It's the closest thing they had, you know. It's sad because
even Teen
they're
Titans,
missing a whole, you know, people like Marvel and everybody else. They're missing a whole huge fan base that they could have. You know, mommy, I want that magazine. You know, of the cool superhero, not watch the stupid silly cartoon. You know, and I think you're onto something there, Jerry.
Well, I can tell you another very strange story, right? That really shocked me. Now, I grew up. Green Lantern, yeah. I grew up with Hal Jordan, and I could accept Kyle Rayner as well. Okay, so again, my son, back in the very early 2000s, remember the Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
So I asked my son, okay, do you want to watch Green Lantern? Now I expected him to say yes, but he says no. So I says to him, I asked him, why don't you want to watch Green Lantern? And he says to me, that's not Green Lantern. Green Lantern is black. Of course, he grew up with the animation, Jon Stewart. No, you imagine if you're at DC and your job is to make money, do you not think you should have realized that?
Yeah.
Forget about us old guys. I mean, I want to see Hal Jordan, but take us out the equation. That that Justice League cartoon was really, really successful.
The whole thing was, though, is that they didn't come in and act like Hal Jordan was suddenly a black guy. It was a different guy.
It was a different guy.
He was a different guy. Okay, so
Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I mean, nobody got mad because he's a different guy. They didn't try to rewrite Dude himself as somebody else and make us all go, come on, man.
But the funny thing is, right, I do a lot of like seminars out here and that kind of stuff. And that thing with my son got me thinking along the lines of what you're saying. Because if you think about it, I remember my son, he really liked Cyborg. Now, if you're at DC, you imagine you're at DC, right? You've let Marvel come along, make Iron Man, Black Panther, all in front of Cyborg. When you think of the success of the Justice League animation, Cyborg with the black and mechanical vote should have existed years before Black Panther or the Iron Man movie.
Well, the movies, yeah, but Black Panther's been around for a long, long time.
Right, but you think of when they made the movie, right? The Cyborg movie should have existed 10 years before that.
Well, see, now I thought the Teen Titans Cyborg was way funnier than the DC Universe Cyborg. And I'm looking at it like this. If you want the kids to buy in this, you got to make them laugh, guys.
I agree.
You got to make them laugh, right? And Teen Titans Cyborg, with it, the interaction between Cyborg and Beast Boy, it's great, right?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Teen Titans is the closest thing kids have nowadays. So they're missing so many opportunities with so many other different characters. It's endless, really, and missing out.
And this is why I'm looking like I look at yours. I said, the one with the team, the kids, the team. Because that's what I would, if I'm looking at these and I can only get one, which is usually my state. Yep. This is the one that I would be buying, because that way I can leave it sitting out and the grandkids might go, Grandpa, what's this? Oh, go ahead, go check it out. Right? And I get them involved. And that's how I got them into comics. Now they all have their own little comic collections, 2 girls, 2 boys, and they all have their own comic collections. It's hard, though, being able to find stuff that you can leave laying out on the table.
How about My Hero Academia? Have you bought them that?
They actually, I think, in their show.
Yeah, it's a show.
Yeah, I think they watched the show, so showing them the comic would just make them go, what they do? Why is it all different?
Why do I got to read it backwards?
Yeah, that too. Actually, they kind of like my son himself is like down with manga. He's been reading manga for a long time, and
Yeah, mine too.
you know, it's funny because he used to watch that Naruto show, and every time I walked by, it seemed like they were saying the same stuff, right? So eventually, I would pick up some of the lingo from Naruto, like pork ramen, extra meat.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, like you just mentioned Beast Boy. If you look at Dan's Weirdo, there's a bit of similarity there. I think Weirdo has the potential to appeal to youngsters as well.
Yeah. I don't know. See, that one's the one that's a wild card for me because I don't know which way Weird is going.
I'm trying to recall if it was all ages. I believe it is.
You see,
I can't recall anything. Well, maybe issue 2 goes. Let's see, issue 2. No, even there's a little gore in issue 2, but
yeah,
issue 1. Trying to think. Nature Man as well is pretty.
Yeah, Nature Man is quite all age. Nature Man is very all ages.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah. The way it's drawn as well reminds me of Sal Buscema.
He says it right there. He says it right there. He's like, "Hey, gang, Weirdo here. Where do they come up with this stuff? The book is about me fighting zombies. They're like, we're gonna eat your brains, Weirdo." And I'm like, "Nuh-uh." And then I make with the smackety smack and just buy the book. See, that's nice and simple and to the point. And that would work on teenagers, you see. Mr. Ray, what's up, DM Ray? How you doing, brother? Madcaps, another comic that's out. There's so much good stuff out. So much. And again, all this stuff right here. What's the one that says Alpha right there? Is that different?
Subject Alpha. That's another comic that we had on a prior Kickstarter.
Joe, there's a whole bunch of stuff here, man. Hold on.
Yeah.
There's lots of stuff.
Yeah,
all right. We have Chronicles of the Metaversal, which is another creator in Singapore, and he. I think he's going to do a con with you, right, Jerry? Pretty soon.
We're doing a show.
Yeah.
Next month. Yes.
So he's a wrestler in Singapore, and he has a book of his wrestling character going through superhero adventures and adventures in the ring. So.
Okay, what's this one right here?
Dragon Manx.
Dragon Man?
Dragon Manx.
Manx. Yeah. Okay. I know. You're gonna have to tell me about that one too, because I like
that is basically a vampire type of story where the vampires were kind of superheroes, but they retired. Now they're gonna think about going back in, and that other keep character is Captain Liberia. So he's another character that it seems like the superheroes gave up at some point. So now it's a kind of like a new threat is emerging, and they're being drawn back kind of out of retirement. And we have issue 2 in the works of that one.
Cool. Yeah, I like this. What made you guys decide to put this many books all on one campaign?
Well, you know what? I see a lot of campaigns, and I back a lot of campaigns. I am a super backer.
Hey, look at that! Look, this guy's backed he's backed a whole bunch of you people. Y'all better get on board with this. Seriously.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, in backing all those books, sometimes the postage is quite a bit, and if I had the opportunity to back a campaign like my own, where I have a number of books available, G-Man Comics does the same thing, where they have a number of new releases. So you can order each round of new releases and pay one shipping price that's comparable to what I see many campaigns doing for one book.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
So-
a lot of people don't. You got to realize you can get like 7 books in a Gemini before the price goes up.
Yeah.
You know, before you hit the next weight tier where they add more to the shipping cost. So, I mean that makes sense definitely for shipping. And any of you who have like a add-ons of extra comics and somebody orders the main book on your campaign and then they get 3 or 4 off your add-ons, you stick them all in one Gemini and you don't try to nail them for shipping for 5 books. Remember that.
Yeah, but the thing is, also in creating a comics line, if we were to do separate Kickstarters for each of these books, we'd have to, you'd lose track of what the story was, by the time we got back to that book that you enjoyed, so to publish with some regularity, like a comic book publisher with a line of books,
right?
That is, so saving on the postage plus getting the stories out in a more timely fashion. These are all reasons I believe it's, good to have this many books. It does, divide the attention a little bit, with a campaign that's just about one book and you can really just, go super in depth with it and just put that one cover all over the place. There are advantages to that, but you're going to pay for it in the long run.
Right.
By paying postage, $10 postage on each book.
Yeah, I was going to also drop a little suggestion on you. There's another site called Fund My Comic where you can set up a storefront for all your back issue stuff.
Now we do have that on Indie Planet.
Yeah.
So we have Indie Planet. I know Fund My Comic started that as well, but yeah, Indie Planet, we have all our past books, and except for Thunderzone, there are like some of these books that you're seeing here in this catch-up tier. We have books that are on Indie Planet, and then we have different books that are on Kickstarter. So we don't want people just saying, oh, let me just wait for it to come on Indie Planet or something. And that kind of takes away the purpose of Kickstarter. So the books you're seeing in this campaign are just on Kickstarter.
This is what I was saying. It's like when you have like Fund My Comic, you can have your active campaign. These books up there is an active campaign, but then all your other stuff, instead of laying it out as add-ons, you can have it constantly up where people can order your other books all the time and just get them right now, right? Not have to wait till the campaign's over to have it shipped to you. But I want number 1 of Supercross right now. Yeah. You see, if it was on a Fund My Comic storefront, I'd be able to order that right now and get it right now, not have to wait till the campaign was over and get it shipped to me. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah. It's I mean, and they don't care if you're running a Kickstarter too. They're just trying to help you sell books, put a storefront up over here, and I would always run a campaign everywhere I could. I would never just like be in one place, because there are people who will not, absolutely refuse to use one platform over the other.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And it's like, it's kind of whatever, it's like wherever the book is, I'm going to go find it. I'm going to get it if that's where it is. But some people refuse to use Kickstarter or refuse to use Indiegogo, or, you know what I mean? It's like,
pedal fly.
Put them
beyond my super backing on Kickstarter, I have backed on Fund My Comics. I've backed on Indiegogo. So Yeah, I do realize.
Yeah, I back down all of them too. It's like, but there are some people that just refuse, like, I'll never get a book on Kickstarter. Well, you'll probably never get that book then.
Well, Jerry ran it on both Indiegogo and Kickstarter. Did you find a lot of crossover in the people that came from one to the other?
Yes, but I had most success on Fund My Comic.
Okay.
Yeah. It could be the nature of the book that I did for some reason. I'm not sure. It was easier on Fund My Comic than Kickstarter. But again, the comic that I put out, I think, has certain sensibilities. It was a Trump. It was a superhero comic where Trump was not a bad guy. But for some reason, Fund My Comic, the people there seem to be okay with it.
Well, see, I can explain that to you. Fund My Comic grew out of the need for a place for free speech in comic books.
Right. Okay. That makes sense then.
Luke don't care. He don't care if you're left wing. He don't care if you're right wing. Put your comic up here. It's for comic people. And we're not going to take it down because somebody got butthurt about the content, right? That was what Fund My Comic was built on. The ability for you guys to do whatever you wanted and not have to worry about Kickstarter pulling your campaign down. Right, which they did that to Mike Barrett not that long ago. They pulled down Private American because somebody said it was a racist book, which was a flat out lie. I mean, so
and the point you just made, you can, after the campaign was finished at Fund My Comic, you can just leave it there.
Yeah.
So I've just been sending people in, and they just go and buy it, although the campaign's technically finished.
Right. They can just keep ordering it. Yeah. It's, that. And then, like I say, you get the next campaign, you start your next campaign. That becomes your storefront for all your stuff you just put over there afterwards on your storefront.
Right.
You don't leave the next campaign as a storefront. You just add that book to your existing storefront. You see, and it keeps growing and growing and growing. And you just keep doing one campaign after another. But I would do it everywhere. I'd do it on Indiegogo. I'd do it on Kickstarter. I'd do it on Fund My Comic. I would get my book out there and get it seen in as many places as I could. I'd call RJ and say, "Hey, man, put me in Amazon." I would be like, I'd want my book to be seen in as many places as possible. So,
it's like the fellow we had on last week, Panelfly. It's free to put your book up there.
Panelfly.
People can buy one book.
Panelfly.
Panelfly.io is a website that is in development right now. It's under soft launch. You can go sign up as a publisher or a retailer, but the object is to put your books in brick and mortar stores.
Oh, right.
So that they can order a stack of your books. Pay you for 10, you send them 10 books, they put them on the shelf. Now, obviously, the retailers, they're going to expect a little bit better deal than an individual, person, right? They're going to expect that wholesale price because they are retailers. But at the same time, more people buy comics in the comic store than anywhere else, guys.
Yeah, it's free to set up there, too. It's free. And then you only pay if somebody buys your stuff. So
they go there. People go to the comic store looking for the big two. Then they see all the empty spaces in the shelves over the last couple of years that are filled with indie comics now. Yep. That's where your guys' stuff fits in now. Because, man, like DC dropped like 35 titles last year. That's a lot of space on shelves that comic book stores have to spread that stuff out or fill those spots with new stuff. This is where indies come in. So hopefully we get some retailers to sign up at Panelfly. I think he sent me an email and he's like, "Man, we've had 65 signups since we did the show." And I don't know if that's publishers, retailers, some of both, or whatever. He didn't break it down for me, but he said a lot of people are signing up. So check it out, man. Panelfly.io. It is for independent comic book creators, small publishers. And I mean, it can even lead to getting your books physically in big box stores.
Yep.
So not just on their website order page or whatever, but physically in the big box stores. The dude has a solid looking plan. I'm waiting. I'm going to tell people about it. I'm going to encourage people to sign up, and I hope it gets to the point where I can both endorse and recommend its use, just like I did Fund My Comic in the beginning. Luke and I weren't buddies. Okay, we butted heads a bunch of times in the past, but Luke had a great idea, and I'm about helping the comic community, and I wasn't gonna like not tell people about it because of who was doing it. That didn't matter to me. It was a great idea. It was something that was going to help you guys. I promoted it. Now I recommend and endorse Fund My Comic because it was built by comic people for comic people, and you actually get to talk to a human when you sign up. And that makes a big, huge difference to me too. And look, screw AI. When I call you up and say I got a problem, I don't want to talk to a computer. I don't want to get a canned answer. I want to talk to a human that can help me fix the problem.
Press 1 for English.
I want to talk to a human, and that's definitely what happens when you call Fund My Comic for help. You get to talk to a human. They walk you, figure out what the problem is. They walk you through building your campaign, all that, right? Jerry, you had a human person to talk to, right? It wasn't just see, that's why I like it, because it's not, you're not hung up on it. Oh, let me get that link for you. Hold up. Wait,
I'm looking at Panelfly now, actually.
I see our boy from John's Long Box up in here. What's up, John? He say, "Let's go, Marshall Strong." There you go. See that? Yeah.
Actually, when I mentioned that Marshall Strong was created in Villains and Vigilantes campaigns, John's Long Box was the DM, Dungeon Master of those games.
Yeah.
Small world, and he worked at that same comic shop where I bought comics in the 80s. The Incredible Pulp.
Now, John, what cover is this? You probably know 4 or 5 other ones, but I showed one. What cover is this an homage to?
Oh, you're asking him?
Yeah, because John knows everything about comics. I know there's more than just the one that I showed you. I know there is.
Definitely a classic.
You're asking John's Long Box, in his estimation, what is that a cover homage to?
Yeah.
It is a splash page, but it did remind Pops of a comic cover.
Yeah.
So I think he's asking you if you see any resemblance to a comic cover.
He'll probably tell us about 5 of them. Zombies and weirdo. I like it.
I tell you, I used to go to their store with a friend of mine, Cameron, and Cameron, myself, John, Mike, all comic collectors since childhood. So, some of these comic stores are like a clubhouse to talk comics. I didn't see John there as much as I saw Mike, because Mike was kind of like a manager there. And then the owner was there a lot. But every once in a while I would see John there as well. And like I said, we had a lot of comic discussions. So
yeah, John kind of burst on the scene last year out of nowhere. And it was like, I'm watching some of his content. And of course, he was recovering from the neck thing. And, he was doing a lot of stuff. And it's like, man, I really like to have him in the network, but I don't have enough time slots for all the stuff he's doing, So I was like, hey, John, can I just pick one show a week out of all the stuff you do and replay it on the network on the weekend? He's like, sure, Pops, go ahead. Sweet. So we do a show called Random Stuff from John's Long Box, Saturday at 10 p.m. and it's something from the previous week. But he does so much. Like I said, there's no way to keep up with it all. So I had to kind of go look. What did John do this week? Oh, that looks good. I'll do that. Replay one for him. Because, again, expanding people's reach, getting people seen in places that they might not get seen. This is what it's all about, man. I hope people are sharing this out, because this campaign needs some more love. I mean, it's funded, but you guys know it usually costs a lot more than the funding goal to get these things out and get them in somebody's hands. So,
I mean, we invested in these books, so we are going to put them out. That's why we just kind of had a bit of a token goal, because come what may, we wanted to get these books out to everybody. So, but yeah, of course, as you're saying, to cover the production cost of these, that token goal doesn't really do it. So yeah, we could use a lot more help.
A lot more. Come on, people.
Rolling.
Yeah. Get it shared out there. Get them some backing, people. Let's go.
There's definitely, there's plenty of time. There's 20 days left, but never wait to the end. Never wait to the end, because, you might forget. And I might be doing a launch, or I might be doing a countdown for him, and you'll get lucky and you go, oh, Pops is doing a countdown. Who's this for? Oh, Dan's book. I forgot all about it. It's like, that's why we do countdowns too, to catch them last minute, them people at the last minute that may have forgot about your campaign. They saw it earlier and they were like, man, I ain't got no money right now, but maybe toward the end of the campaign, because I know Kickstarter don't take the money till the end anyway. And a lot of people wait to the end to jump in, because that way the money's coming out right now, right, in the next week, right? And it's not a month later and oops, I forgot about it and I don't have the money.
And we do also have a stretch goal that we're trying to reach. I don't know if you can go into the updates up top and just go to the update that has the stretch goal right there. You can click on that update. And you can see we have an update there where, all these covers we have, you can choose your cover in the survey. So if we can reach 2,000, we would have this cover, another cover from Weirdo, painted by Alexandre Nascimento. And that Weirdo is kind of reminiscent of a painting from a popular sitcom, if you can recall.
Oh, that's Kramer. That's freaking Kramer right there.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that episode where the old couple were staring at that painting, going, he's a scoundrel, but I can't look away.
So now, see, you got me caught right now, because that's the only number one on the campaign, right? Is Weirdo.
Well, for the people who are like yourself, who said, I want to try them out, you can get that Weirdo number one and then just add on the number ones.
Yeah.
Other titles. Yeah.
I'm just saying that is the one number one that's on this campaign.
That is correct. Yep.
Oh man. See, now I'm stuck. There's probably two there that I'd be able to get. One for my personal, it's a number one, stick in my collection. Got it when it first came out, one of those. But the man, Supercross, dude, the kids. I'm still gonna have to go. I still got to go where the kids would be first. That's
in that line of thinking, that Weirdo number one with an add-on to Supercross number one is a good shot for the people who want to, just try out those two books as number ones.
Yeah, it's if it's about the kids for you, like it is for me, that's a great combination. Get the Weirdo number one, get Supercross number one, see if you like them, see if the kids like them, then go along for more. Go along for the ride, get you some more.
Yeah, man.
Let's see. It's about that time, though, guys. It's about time I got to roll this thing up. We got more shows tonight. It's a busy life running.
I really enjoyed learning about you guys, man. This is fantastic. It looks awesome, dudes. I mean, for real, y'all got it going on, man.
No, I appreciate that.
Thanks.
Man, I love it. The whole team and the ideas, and man, it's great.
Just to let you guys know, Panel Fly is only for the United States.
Yeah. So you got friends in the United States, don't you?
I think so, yeah.
On radio.
Dan.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about
We're publishing Supercross, so yeah, if we do go through with that.
We got you no matter what. Look, if you want in, I'll talk to dude. We'll get you in. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Didn't he say his guy would put you up for you? Like if you wanted it? So he'll put you on there. You send him some info. He'll put you on there.
Yeah, well, we're publishing Supercross here in the U.S., so we'd be able to.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. I was only looking for the reason of the Trump comic. That's all. The Supercross is with Thunderzone.
That one would definitely. We'll talk to him about. We'll get you. We'll take care of it.
Yeah, that would be good.
Well, it's printed in the U.S., though, right? So they would be able to. You'd be able to mail them directly from the printer to
direct
to them.
Yeah.
Because it goes. It's direct. You would ship the books to the store that orders them, right? It's not like you're shipping them twice. The store orders them through the website. They let you know, send this many books. You send that many books, you get paid. I don't think there's a whole lot more to it than that. It does take out that middleman shipping.
Yeah, that's the only complication. I think it's the Stripe. The Stripe wants to know about me in Singapore, that I'm a legit person. So I think if I arrange it with someone in America like Dan, I'd have to get the money sent to him.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And you trust him, don't you? No, I'm kidding.
Many wouldn't, but I do.
I'm known and loved in the comic industry.
I'm telling you, you got to be careful. Very
Look
careful.
at this. I even got dressed for the occasion of being on the Madness Network.
Oh, look at this.
Look at Madness, yeah. On the Madness Network.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
So you guys, you've been doing this since 2020, since COVID.
This show, yes.
Yeah.
We've had the network for a little bit longer than that. COVID is what kind of launched us into, instead of just being a Facebook group, we became a promotional network. COVID is the base cause of that. Okay. Yes. When all my friends, when all the cons went down and my friends couldn't set up tables and make any money, I started doing a once a month online con and getting them all out here, and they get 30 minutes one after another to come out here and pimp what they were doing. And we talked to 60 people over the weekend, 60 different people over the weekend. And we did it 1 weekend a month, and we did it for 39 months, Jerry.
Wow.
39 months I did that. And we kept getting new shows that were coming out of it. Like right away, Monday Madness was born because there would be people that didn't get a slot on CromCon. And they'd be like, dude, I didn't get a slot. Okay, I got you on Monday the next day, right? So it would go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then all of a sudden I have a Monday show where I'm getting the stragglers that didn't get a spot over the CromCon weekend. So that's how Monday Madness was born. And then we started the show Tuesday Morning Brew, and we had the Madness Open Draw stream. And before you know it, we had a network of shows, and I couldn't really do the big event once a month anymore because I'm booking shows weekly now. And it's like the need for the one event wasn't there anymore. It was like we had people coming out every day, so it just became, now it's 3, 4, 5 shows a day, a legit network, 30 plus shows a week.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and if any of your friends that draw want to come in, pop in on the open draw stream, talk a little crap, and draw live, hey, we're all about
We
it.
do that too. Yeah.
When is the open draw?
Yeah.
When is the open draw stream?
We have one on Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern. We have one on Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern, I think, right?
2 p.m. Eastern,
2 p.m. Eastern, and then Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern. So we have 3 different open draw streams where anybody can come out and draw and hang out, promote what they're doing, show us their chops, people talk process, they talk shop, they talk whatever, just have a good time.
Tell jokes and all. I mean, just anything really goes. I mean, draw what you want. You don't have to draw what you got going on. Draw, just start something new. It's always a good time. Always.
And to get in on that, the link is usually in the comments, right? The StreamYard.
Yeah, usually I put it in the chat, or we actually have a group on X and a group on Facebook that are where we drop the link. A bunch of artists are already in the group, and we just drop the link there. Hey, you want to come out? Here's the link.
Yep.
So if you want an invitation to the draw stream group, I can hook you up with that.
Yeah,
it's so easy. It's like 3 or 4 clicks and your screen's showing. So it's not even really. You gotta sign up and do all kind of mess. You ain't got to do any of that.
Just like coming out with this show.
Yep. Click. You're in.
Yeah,
Jerry, sounds good because we did that a couple of times, didn't we, Dan? When we were doing a Kickstarter, when I would draw live, when Dan is talking with the other creators. So we've done something like that very similar.
Yeah, we've tried that on Zoom. We have yet to jump onto StreamYard, which we really need to do, like a dedicated Thunderzone show, as Silverline does quite well. We don't have
I got you. This is what this network is for.
Yep.
Look, Rowan don't pay for StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
I pay for that. Our sponsors pay for StreamYard. That's why we have a network, bro. Look, none of these guys pay for StreamYard on our network. They all
right. So not only could you have your own ad before the show, maybe even after the show, you could also be a part of it just by drawing. I mean, you don't even have to have an ad, but it'd be nice.
He's talking about a show. He could bring a show to the network. All we do is hook you up with the studio in our StreamYard.
Yeah, with all those creators making those books, to rotate them in, get them a chance to talk about their book and everything like that. Myself and Jerry, we
what you have to do is pick a time slot. Like if you're going to do a weekly show, then we find you a time slot where you're not competing with somebody else in the network, so you're getting the airtime, right? Just a few of our shows step on each other, but I don't tell people not to do their show at 9 o'clock. I let them know, hey, there's a Thunder Nerd show at 9 o'clock. You might want to do it at 8 o'clock. You know what I mean? Because I don't want people to step on each other. We're trying to build a solid network at some point where it could actually be a live network.
Right. I mean, sooner or later, if it gets big enough, you're not really going to have a choice to step on people. It's going to be so many people on there. You just pick your time and go live, right?
Yeah. So only so many time slots, which you can't have a show on at 2 a.m. So
the great thing about it is we're building a Roku platform.
Yeah.
Okay. A view on demand, like Netflix, a view on demand platform on Roku, where people can come and watch any show on the network, any show that we've done, however much our server will let us upload, right? Because we got 6,000 freaking video things on the network. I don't think we're putting it all up there, but basically you'll be able to binge watch all the network shows. We're building a view on demand type platform like Netflix. So you go, oh, Thunderzone is on. I got to catch this from the beginning. I got to go back 8 episodes, catch this from the beginning, and they can binge watch up to present, right? And then catch them going forward as you upload it. And when we get to Roku, there's no It's got to be weekly. There's none of that. It's your, how much do you want to make with the monetization? Because like YouTube, a lot of people will never be monetized on YouTube.
Sure.
We offer instant monetization on our Roku channel. So you're going to be making money as soon as you got to show up there running, right? If people are watching, don't get me wrong, people got to be watching.
MSNBC.
Yeah, if nobody's watching, you're not going to be making no money. But, again, this is one of those things where people have to self-promote. You don't promote your YouTube channel because you're not monetized. You don't make no money. But if you were making money or the opportunity to make money is there, you're probably going to promote that a little more. You see what I'm saying? So the Roku network is a lot closer than people think. I've got doubters. I've got a lot of doubters, man. People have been saying, oh, Pop's never going to get this thing up. Guess what? Pop's going to get this thing up and running real freaking soon. And y'all going to go, oh, I should have got on board with that. The bigger it is, the more shows we have, the bigger splash we make when we launch on Roku, right?
Yep.
The more content there is there. I want people to go to our Roku channel, and you know how you go to Netflix, sometimes you get lost trying to find out what you're going to watch next, and you're just sitting there with the remote going click, 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 click. That's what I want it to be like when you come to our Roku network. You're just, I don't know what to watch next. There's so much here to choose from.
Well, I'll tell you something interesting, Pops, right? That I've done some workshops here, and I've asked other people if they've ever seen this before. But I teach people how to letter.
Right.
No one seems to do that.
Lettering?
No, teaching, right? Teaching people.
Teaching, showing people the best ways the most efficient ways of lettering a comic. I've been asking lots of my students from via Zoom that are in other countries, etc. And they've all said to me they've never ever seen a tutorial on how to letter.
That's not a lie. That's very true because I've seen it all. I've seen panel layout tutorials. I've seen every type of tutorial there is. I can't remember any of these really good letterists that I know ever going out and actually teaching people how to do it. Eric, Lori, so on, so on. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I definitely like to try that on your platform if you're interested.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we can get a show going for a Thunderzone or whatever, and
you can make it part of the Thunderzone shows for sure.
Do that. I mean, I've lettered about 100 books by now.
There you go. You could make it a segment of a Thunderzone show, or
Francisco's Moron as well.
I mean,
yeah, because I've seen a lot of shows about aspect and paneling and all that's never about lettering. No, he's right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I find it very odd because without letterer, you can't read the comic.
Yeah, it's kind of important.
Yeah, it's very, very important. And there's some shortcuts. There's some shortcuts in it that I'm sure would help any budding letterer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and there's so many people that come out here and they're doing their own comic and they don't have the money to pay people. And that would be wonderful to help them letter their own comic because look how many people do it. A lot of people, when they first start out, they don't have the money to hire people. They do all this stuff themselves. Anything they can do themselves, and they're trying to learn it. And there's, like you said, nobody out here actually teaching it. They can go to the app and play with it and teach themselves, but there's nobody out here helping them learn the shortcuts and the easy ways to get it done, the faster ways to get it done. So I think that'd be a great show,
Yeah.
Or at least a segment of a show. Like if you're doing a weekly Thunderzone show and you did a 20-minute segment in every show about lettering.
Yeah, maybe just letter one panel. Just show somebody like this is how this particular, this way, that way. I don't know the lingo, but
That way you don't run out of content. You'll always have a little snippet of something you can go, this is a bad way to do this, and you guys should do it like this, or you know what I mean? It's like and pick one aspect of lettering
right
in each episode and focus on that for like 20 minutes, and then do the rest of your stuff, do some promotion, do some artwork, whatever. I mean, I think a Thunderzone show that covers more, like Silverline, they pick a topic and they stick to it throughout the show, right? Whether it be car chase scenes, or you know what I mean, and they'll talk about how you panel out a car chase scene, right? Their shows are all individually topicked, and they pretty much stick to the topic. I think if Thunderzone was doing something that had segments and variety in it, and that made it stand out from the Silverline shows, people would like to see a different small publisher in here giving us the same kind of love that what Silverline does. You know.
Yeah, we can have some comic creation. Maybe someone could do a 10-minute stand-up comedy set.
Even better, yes.
We have a stand-up comedian, I think, in our group.
Yes.
Right. And see, like on the draw streams, a lot of times when people come in, Pops has like a little intro for them. So you could do like little intros for the people that pop in and do their, it's like what, 10 seconds, Pops, a little 10-second, 12-second little intro thing. It's usually silly or something, it's pretty good.
I like Q's the best. I still think
it is.
His intro's the best, not all of them.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But yeah, I mean, we have different people that are regulars on the draw stream, and we've had made intros for them so that when they come out on Sunday, we play their little intro. Here comes Q, boom, and play it. I mean, it's all, but like I said, I think you guys could do a really solid segmented show, a variety show that covered different stuff every week that, makes it stand out from Silverline. It's not like the same format.
Right. And I mean, shows like that get younger and newer people interested. Like, well, maybe I could do that. Look at that. That's not that hard. Or, somebody that's inspiring, but it's like, I have no idea how to do that. And then they watch a show like yours and they're like, uh-oh, and here we go. Now they're buying your comic because they're interested and they like your work, so on and so forth.
And I am definitely interested in having that show on the network. So you guys put something together and we will definitely find you a time slot that works for you. Or if you want to do it as a pre-recorded show and we can play it in a totally clean time slot on the network where you don't have to worry about it stepping on it or anybody else stepping on your show or vice versa. Pre-recorded ones are the easy ones because we can definitely find a spot for them that isn't up against somebody else. When people are doing live shows and they want to do them at the same time, that's where, sometimes I got to pick and choose who am I putting on what platform.
You have to imagine that the live shows, though, get, that
the fan interaction.
Viewers and comments and everything.
Yes. The fan interaction is definitely, look, that's huge on streaming.
How long on average? The Streamline show, how long on average is a show? Roughly?
This show I try to run just under 2 hours.
Right.
Most of our shows go about an hour.
Right.
The draw streams can go anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. And you don't have to be there the whole time. It's just, I'm not going to shut it down if people are watching. You know what I mean? If you got viewers, why take away what they're being entertained by? That's
got 40 viewers and 5-6 people drawing. We're just going to let it ride, right, Pops? I mean,
that's it's about entertainment mainly, and that comes first. The rest of it is the gravy on the beef. But the beef is the entertainment, the stuff that gets people to come out here and laugh and have a good time, and come back for more. That's what you got to have. You got to have those things that make people come back for more, the things that they're entertained by. And as long as we can keep providing stuff like that, we'll keep growing.
And a catchy title so they can remember when it is, which gets me thinking Thunderzone Thursdays.
Yeah, there you go.
There's Thursdays you could be Thunderzone everywhere except on Pilt.
On
Pilt?
Pilt?
Pilt.net.
That's one of the places. That's actually where I met Ghost Pepper. That's one of the platforms that we broadcast to.
If you haven't seen Pill.net, you might want to check it out because it's one of the only platforms I know of where you can make live memes in the chat. You can make live GIF memes of anything you want right in the chat within reason. I mean, there's some pretty risque stuff on there, but you can't do just like, you can't just do like naked, but a little bit naked. But anyway,
what's up,
but Pill.net, man, it's the only free speech platform. You can play any movie, whatever you want, any song. Nobody's gonna say a word on Pill. Nothing.
Yeah, it's just it's one of my favorite platforms to broadcast to. We're broadcasting there right now under the Madness Comic Network.
Yeah, I'm the only one in chat, but anyway, it's still there. There's a lot of stuff that goes on at this time slot on Pilled. So a lot of the people that watch Pilled are watching news right now, sadly. But there's different times during the day when this show is popping. And
we get our airplay on Pilled. I'm pretty happy with what's going on there. We ain't been there very long, you know, and we've been invited out on shows with the OGs that have been there forever. They've really been nice to us. They promote. Look, have you ever seen YouTube go out on X and go, "Hey, everybody, the Thunderzone is on right now"?
Nope.
Ever.
On X?
Ever seen YouTube promote?
I threw the link up on X, but I don't know.
No. Yeah, but the platform itself, see, Pilled will go out there. If you have your own show on Pilled, they'll go out there and promote for you.
They'll go out there and tell people that your show is live right now on their network. Has YouTube ever done that for you? Go out on other platforms?
Any platform.
And
Nobody does
promote your show. You see what I'm saying? It's like they actually care about the people broadcasting stuff on their network as opposed to, the big guys don't care. Twitch, all they want is money. They just want you contractually obligated to pay to give them money and not do anything anywhere else. That's why we're not monetized there.
And
so
go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, Pilled, you can put ads up there too, but you'll never get an ad during the show. It's always like if you click in the show before the show or if you stay late, then you see ads. So you can put your ads on there and people will see it, like to promote your book. I don't think it's that much either. It's like if you get in the show early, you'll see people's ads for their stuff.
There's also like an ad banner across the top of the description of a show.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So if you're like watching this show right now, there's an ad banner in the top of the description below. Sometimes you'll even see the Madness Comic Network in that ad banner.
How do you spell? Is it PILL.net?
ED.net. PILLED.
Oh, I thought it was PILT.
No.
PILLED. And the kind of theme behind the whole platform was, if you remember the Matrix movie with the red pill and the blue pill.
Yeah.
So the red pill, you like it. The blue pill, you don't like it. Type of thing on Pill. That's their
the lights and the thumbs up and thumbs down.
Yeah, that's the same thing as thumbs up, thumbs down.
Yeah.
Easy to share, easy to. I mean, you got to get used to navigating it. They're still they're kind of a fresh platform, so they got all kind of stuff going on. They're updating it all the time. It gets fancier and fancier, no doubt.
Yeah, and they, like you said, they got some people that have been there for a long time, and I've only been there a few months, man. And they embraced me. They have invited me out on their shows and helped our platform grow. There, what's up, Vince? Vince.
Yep.
I know that dude.
Yeah, I have to thank Dave Brink and Genuine Comics for that comment.
Yes, we love Dave too
a lot, and Vince for he has we were mentioning before the cover of Big House Blues #2. He has one of the covers there. So, two longtime comic pals in the chat. Yeah. Great to see.
All them people, right? There's like 5 in a row right there. All good people. John and Glenn and Martin and Dave and Vince, right in a row. Look at that. That's a bunch of solid indie comic creators right there. Or, John's kind of like a promoter. He's a creator now. He started out as a promoter. That's cool, and then he dipped his toe in it and had some fun. That's cool. Vince been around forever. Our comics, Vince actually drew a crom for us.
Yep.
You guys didn't. I got to show it. They don't know. They don't know, do they?
No, they don't. So real quick, another thing about Pilled is a lot of the people that are on Pilled, when the big purge happened on YouTube and all that stuff, a lot of these people went to Pilled and created this platform for people that got kicked off of everywhere else.
Yeah.
So that's why this even exists, because they were like, they got tired of getting kicked off this platform and that platform and this one. So they come to this one, and this is, unless you're really a piece of shit, you ain't gonna kicked off. You ain't gonna get kicked off Pilled. I mean, you gotta really be terrible.
So check it out.
You guys are more into Pilled than
no, just
Rumble.
me. Pops is everywhere, but just me. Pilled is my home, so that's where I like to hang.
Okay,
but Pops is
how do you
everywhere.
guys? Right, and how do you rate Rumble?
Rumble has been really good to us, considering a lot of times we get way more views than we actually have followers.
Yeah.
We
like
got
Rumble.
people that don't
Rumble's
even
cool.
follow us that are watching our shows over there. So, but they don't ever interact or say anything yet. We haven't got to the point where the chat pops. You know what I mean? It's like chat don't pop, but we know they're there. We can see the views. We can see the viewers. They just never say anything. It's me crazy. But this right here, guys, Vince drew this. This is the first crom that actually showed pubic hair.
You got a happy trail. Look at it.
Yeah, I think they had a treasure trail or something.
Yeah, Vince, the first one did that shit. Cracked me up, man. I was like, oh, here we go. But yeah, this is Crom. Crom is the mascot of what used to be the Comic Related Madness. And Crom was an acronym for Comic Related Madness. Well, since then, our name has changed a couple times. We went to Madness Comic Network, and then now we're the Madness Entertainment Group. So Crom's just Crom now. He's not an acronym anymore, right?
Right.
He doesn't care about your 4 wins, so it could be that guy. We've never seen him. We don't know, right?
Comic Related Network.
Yeah, I mean, you never know, right? I mean, but hey, guys, I got to get out of here, because if I don't, I won't be able to make them cheap shorts in the backstage area. We will be posting clips from this show over the next couple weeks, and we'll remind people this thing's going on. I want you guys back before it's over.
Sounds good to me. Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if you have any kind of a countdown party scheduled or anything, but get with me later. Let me know the exact time and date this thing's ending, so I can check my schedule and see if we can do some kind of a countdown.
Yeah, that'd be greatly appreciated.
We'll definitely share you out, man. It's good stuff. Very good stuff. Love it.
I appreciate that.
You bet. It's good to meet you guys. Jerry, tell people where they can find you real quick.
You can find me at Thunderzone, or I'm showing that I'm a boomer now, right? I have to think about social media, right? Okay, on Instagram, I'm Jerry_Judge Hines.
Okay.
Jerry Judge Hines. I'm not really on YouTube, and I'm on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook very easily.
Okay.
And on X, again, I'm a bit quiet on X, but mainly Facebook is where you'll find me.
That's where you look for him if you want to talk to him about maybe doing some work for you, or getting some books or some art done or whatever. That's how you find him. Go over their Facebook. Jerry Judge Hines?
Yeah.
Judge Hines. There you go. Dan, where can they find you, my friend?
Yeah, I have Dance on Facebook. I have an Argo Comics page on Facebook. And we have a Argo Comics Thunderzone group on Facebook. At Argo Comics on X, at Argo Comics on Instagram and YouTube. We have a Argo Comics channel, but it's mostly me doing kind of like comic book hauls, all the indie comics that I've been picking up. So it's kind of like a cross promotion of other books, like books that I've picked up from John's Long Box and Genuine Comics and Vince White and his. Well, lately it's been more collaborations he's done with people, but he's had his own books as well. So I usually show off, what I've been buying, and since I only buy physical,
me too.
Big stack of books to go through, but I enjoy, spreading the word on other people's indie books that perhaps, just like your own network here, don't get enough attention.
There you go. That's what it's all about. You can find Ghost Pepper on Pilled, like you said. That's still
Pilled.net. Ghost Pepper. Look me up, spelled funny. You'll see it.
And you guys know where I'm at. I'm right here. The Madness Comic Network. Peace, everybody.
Peace.
Click on the tube and feel the vibe. Every show you crave right here live. Heroes and villains clash in the night. Madness Comic Network sets it right. Scroll through the list, find what you need. Epic battles and fast-paced speed. From capes to cosmic space delight. Tune in and watch your favorites ignite. On Facebook, share the thrill so grand. On X, the buzz across the land. Madness Comic Network all around. In every episode, joy is found. Uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic brightens days. New uploads, they never end. Superheroes and their friends. Catch every twist and every turn. Madness Comic, you will yearn. Stay up to date with every twist. Madness Comic, don't miss a gist. From laughter to tears, every mood. Madness Comic sets the groove. Click that button and subscribe. Catch the wave and ride the tide. Join the fun, join the craze. Madness Comic bright.